Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to some Bob's Angels. And we've got a list of things that we need to do right at the start of the episode. So, bugs that I noticed in between episodes. Could I do a bit of checking in between episodes? So first of all, that needs to be fixed. Not that one, that one. What we're going to do is we're just going to drag this up. Some reason every third inserter from silicon just wasn't set up correctly, so we're going to fix all of those guys. And over, where's my third one? Oh, it's up here. Okay. Oh, it's not what I wanted. And secondly, we have a bit of a problem because our starter base, completely out of steel, completely, like the steel scroll belt is completely empty. And the problem is that all of these logistics trains transit based on proximity, which means that this steel is going to get a lot more steel than the home base, which is a problem because, well, then we're not going to be able to upgrade the red belts, and if we don't upgrade the red belts, then we're not going to get more steel, and we need a lot more steel. The other problem is that this building over here is producing tons of iron ingots, but they're all going over to this iron thing over here. So we need to go over to steel, and we need to make these all high priority. And then eventually, they will all get steel in the background. They'll get all the iron ingots in the background. So, the next thing we need to do is coke, because right now there is a bit of a concern with coke here. This guy does have 5.6k. As you can see, it wants another train, but it's not getting it. And our only supply of coke for the entire base is this belt right here, which is kind of dodgy. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make another base for coke. We could expand this, but I'm kind of already overloading this. It's making carbon. It's making sulfuric wastewater, and actually splitting off the coke is slowing down the carbon production. So I think I want to make a completely separate build for coke somewhere else. So what we're going to do is I think I'm going to make it over here. This is a nice little place to make just a decent amount of coke. Technically it's a petrochem product, so not a bad idea. And then if we remember correctly, that's a 2-to-1, and that's a 2-to-2. We could make sulfuric wastewater here as well as a byproduct. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. I'm just going to crush it and then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put carbon here as well, just to use as a fuel source for the smelters. You know what, that's probably a bit too much, because it's very, very hard to get those smelters to use the correct fuel. And especially if carbon ever runs out, I mean, if carbon ever runs out, there's going to just switch back to using coke. I mean, we had this process up here. We managed to convince all of these guys to use coal as a fuel source instead of coke, but that's because this coal belt never runs out. And even then, we still got some guys using crushed coal as a fuel source. So it still happens, even with a belt that technically never runs out. It still happens sometimes. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this stuff going. So we're going to use the I'm not sure which crushers we've got. Well, let's not tap steel at all if we don't have to, because yeah, I really don't want to tap steel because currently we are using a metric ton of it to build everything else. Okay, so you guys are like that. And we'll move them over a bit. And that is... Yep. And that's already balanced out, which is very nice. Already powered up, which is very nice. We're probably going to have to expand the amount of coal that we bring in, which is not too bad. Hopefully it's not picking it up, but there is quite a lot of wind outside, and I live in a fairly windy suburb, so... based on my microphone settings, I don't think it's going to pick up much of it. I don't think it will anyways, but you never know, so I just thought I'd mention it. Okay, when it comes to smelting, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to get a nice little smelter here. Put it right there. Move it over by one. This has a crafting speed of 1. And this produces 2 per second. Using the crushed coal, so we need 8 of these, I think. Oh, it's doing it again. Sometimes it just, I don't know what it is, but it just decides to drag my mouse. Actually, I don't think we need that. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. And now there's an ambulance outside. And it just drove past, so that's a good thing. Very noisy for a second. Oh no, it's still around. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, we just got to 10k solar panels, as you can see. All right, now the ambulance is coming back. I've got no idea what's happening half the time. As long as it doesn't pull up to my door, then I am relatively happy. And look at this, managed to line this one up perfectly. Managed to line this one up perfectly. Managed, oh my god, are we going to get all 4 lining up perfectly? That is fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, so that will give us plenty of coke. And we're just going to let that be the coke station. And I think what I'm actually going to do over here is we're going to turn this off. We're not going to split off any of the coke. Put it into that station anymore. And this is where I might want a personal train, because then I can just take the personal train, go over to here, and pick up all the coke. Although what we can do is, see, it's 4.6. So what I think we'll do is we'll just delete this, and then just delete this entire station. Everything except the power pole, and then right click, left click. And that bot's complaining because, okay, trash unrequested. There we go. That'll take care of my entire inventory. I'm sure there's some stuff in here that I might want, but whatever. And there's some red and green signs that just got chucked into the void, so might as well request a bit of science here. Red, green. Yeah. Just so it manages to go around again properly. Looks like this guy should be right. He's just waiting for a bit of red science to go around. But we're getting crystal splinter processing, which, if you remember from last week, unlocks modules. So, gonna unlock a whole bunch of modules, and I'm not sure when I'm going to start building modules, but I don't think we're actually going to build any modules except for, obviously, the max tier ones. Actually, I might start getting some of these as well. Looks like a lot of this crap only requires blue science and agricultural, and it also locks like this. This locks high level. A lot of this crap just... Okay, so we might have to start hitting agricultural science a bit more, which means we might need to... I'm not sure exactly. I mean, we've got a bunch of desert gardens all over the place, and there's probably a lot more that we could do. Like if we go over to here, desert garden, swamp garden, temperate garden, and then there's the trees. Okay. So that's a lot of gardens. So we'll just get rid of all of those. Put them in storage. I don't know exactly if we're going to have enough desert gardens to get to the point where we can just not have to... Because there is a process to generate more gardens. To just say, okay, I want an infinite amount of gardens and just build them using more gardens. We'll have to have a look. Because if we only need the gardens for research purposes... then I think we'll find to just use them all up and hopefully it'll be enough. But we'll have to, if we actually need gardens for, I don't think we need gardens for actual stuff, for actually building modules, but that's a bit of an investigation to do. But, okay. So we've reverted this, that looks good. We've done this. That looks good, but it's going to be a problem with coal eventually. So hopefully this shouldn't affect the outcome too much when it comes to actual... Obviously we're not going to get a full yellow belt because we are burning some of this, but it should be pretty close to a full yellow belt. And I'm just going to leave these uncapped. Now, the problem is we've just added 2 more yellow belts of coal. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to upgrade this, upgrade this, upgrade this, and some of those aren't actually in a Roboport range. So we're going to have to fix that. We have to build a few more Roboports, but... yeah, let's get these all upgraded. We'll add that to the list. Right now it says 1.8k. It's not 1.8k. It's more like 5 or 6k. I did the maths. Like we upgraded all of these. This is 1.5k just by itself. This is another 1.3k. And over here... all of these are about 600, so yeah, it definitely adds up, and then we've got all the ones in the base as well, so yeah. Are we producing them yet? doesn't look like it. We should have a bit of steel coming in soon. Okay, here we go. We've got a train. It is loading up on the steel coils. So, and that one should be going. Click on unload. Yeah, it goes over here. Okay, so that train is going to the right location to build us a lot of steel. That will mean that solar will die, and it looks like the solar panels are already about to die because we ran out of steel. Accumulators have been dead for a while because we ran out of batteries, because batteries require steel, but we are working on that. So, more coke is done. Now, the Mega Mall, we've set up some stations up here. We are missing some key ingredients, which is 2 of them, of course, are red circuits and steel. Red circuits are slow on the silver wire, but it looks like the silver wire coils we set up last episode are going through, and we are producing 4 full belts, and we could obviously just upgrade this to red and everything will work beautifully, but right now it's yellow. We got plenty of transistors coming out here, and there we go. I won't say they're all red, but they don't all need to be, green, because of course this is designed for red belts, so as long as half of them are working. But that looks like full input belts, and the electronic components are actually backing up a bit. The transistors are not, and we have got 2 full belts of transistors, which I love to see. Over here, these guys are still spinning up. Why are you not full? Do we just not quite have enough silver wire? Maybe. I mean, we've got 4 full belts feeding 6 stacks of transistors. So maybe they're not ever going to be quite full. Let's do the math again. So, well, alright, here's the thing. I think I did the math for 45 of these per second. And now we're saying, oh, maybe we should be producing 60. That's not quite going to be enough. So, you know what? It's fine. We're building plenty of these. And unfortunately, the closest priority is going to be here. So it's always going to fill up these stations. But these ones are fully backed up. Look at this. 28,000 red circuits just sitting there. 24,000 blue science. So that means the next red circuit should be this guy over here. Well, that's steel, but the next red circuit should be over here. And then steel eventually. And it's ironic. The one thing that we want to build most of all requires steel, copper wire, and advanced circuits. Here's an interesting thing. This stupid splitter down here has been backed up for ages, and therefore it's been sending the red circuits over here, which is our old janky red build, blue science build, and we definitely don't need this anymore. So we can get rid of all that, and part of me wants to make this a provider silo. Do you actually have silos? I don't have silos requested, but let's get a silo requested. And see, we've actually got some over here. Got some passive provider silos waiting. Okay, I just request... Alright, we got 10 silos. I think I'm going to build a whole bunch of these and just put them back into the network. And we've got plenty of red circuits to do it. Oh, and it's auto-trashing them. Beautiful. Okay, so that's one. And then we want to go onto the map view and place... It is kind of dodgy, but it'll help our mall go a little bit faster, so I don't mind too much. Make another 3. I will just keep making them. I think we need like Another 10 or so. Steel, yes, of course. We need more steel. I could walk down and manually grab it from somewhere. Or I could request it. The logistics bots are getting quite a bit faster. So maybe I'll just do that. Wait a sec. Does it... It does require additional steel on top of... That's annoying. Alright. Okay, still got enough lying around in the logistics network somewhere. I can just pick some up. Okay. That's fine. Alright, 10. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. All of these buildings don't really need. The trees we don't need. It's just getting rid of excess goods, so I don't mind having that. Alright. That should be enough passive provider chests to take care of all of the requirements. So we've got a couple up here. And then we've got all of these need to be upgraded. We might be missing one or two, but that's fine. So that will upgrade. Hopefully that's not the one that misses out. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's start whacking down some robopods here. So you need one over here. If we whack it down close enough, the power poles should join up. Excellent. And then over here as well. And over here. And lastly over here. And one more for good measure over here. Actually, let's send them out a little bit so that they cover the Crotinium line as well. Because we will probably want to upgrade that at some point. I think that actually covers it. What's the deal here? All right. And you, I don't know if you cover it, but you got placed down extremely fast. It does. It just covers it. Did I just put this one? I think I just put this down. And it doesn't even... Well, it doesn't cover the Crotinium anyway, so... Let's fix that up. And then... We'll do a nice little chain all the way down to there. And that covers everything except this belt. And you know what? Just for completeness sake, let's build that one there to cover that one. I think that's it, except for this janky little build, which we're going to try very, very hard not to use any sort of multi-phase oil or natural gas. I mean, we already found a really good plastic recipe over here that just uses aluminium and silver ore and a bit of coal, and that's it. And it produces tons of plastic. So we'll probably just keep using that. Maybe we'll find a better one long term, but we're not going to... It'll be very difficult for us to switch over to anything else. All right. So now you've got some stuff going. We should start to see some of these actually be built. And unfortunately, it's a bit of a long trek for the red circuits to get there, and a bit of a long trek for the silver as well, but that is fine. Let's double check here. Looks like steel is on the belt. It's making its way up, so we should have some red circuits, red belts coming out pretty soon. And, all right. So let's go ahead and let's start pasting down some solar blueprints. It's been a very long time that we've been waiting, but let's go ahead and paste one down. And I'm going to paste one down here, right and you hold down control. Paste down 2, actually. Right on top of the depot, because this is what? Yeah, these scrolls. They're going to be fine. So instantly we lose those row reports until the substations get placed down. But that is fine. My voice is starting to go a little bit. Should not be casting every single day this week, but yeah. Give me a second, I'm just going to have a drink. I think when I go back to work, I'm going to go back down to the 3 days a week. Because I was doing 3 days a week. 1 day Autonauts, 1 day Shapes 2, and 1 day Factorio. I'm kind of... Like, Autonauts I still need to finish. But even at the start of that series, I didn't really like playing that. I was just doing that to get the final achievement. So I will finish it off at one point, but... I have a feeling it's not going to be like 2 hours a week. It'll be like one Saturday I'll just say like, screw it. I'm sick of this game. I want to get it over with. And I'll just play like 6 hours straight or something like that. And I might do that a couple of weekends just to get that game done. And Shapes, I don't really know. Like, we finished the game and we got everything done and we were building some sort of crazy mega base. And at that point I was just like, you know what? Is this fun? I was kind of having fun, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I definitely wasn't having as much fun as Factorio. I'd prefer to do like 2 streams of Factorio per week than do 1 stream of Shapes 2 and 1 stream of Factorio. So we'll see how we go. We might just do more Factorio, but if you do want me to do more Shapes 2, please let me know. And yes, if nobody lets me know, then I'll probably just let that series. Maybe I'll come back to it at one point, but I'm considering it finished. And then the mega base was just kind of a bonus idea that I'm kind of not really that interested in anymore. But anyway, this should be enough to fill both of those guys in. And we're just waiting on the row reports, which means we're just waiting on this to actually get some red circuits. Which, that's... Oh, look at all these guys all coming over. That's beautiful. So the main focus of this episode was the solar. And we got some solar blocks being built. So I think we go into something else. Mega Mall... We got 2 options here. One is military science. One is the Mega Mall. Now, oh, hello. Okay, advanced circuits right here. That is what I like to see. Now the only thing we're missing is steel. And part of me wants to actually... What I think I want to do is I want to put every single station here up to 80. So it's not max priority, but it's high enough priority that it will take precedence over the science. Because the Mega Ball is going to be the thing that sort of backs up the most. I hope. I mean, once we start... I'd say once we start getting the modules, that may change, but modules are going to be their own base. We're not going to build modules in the mall. We're going to have their own separate stations. Alright. Okay, so we built like 1 substation, I think, and then we ran out of steel. So right now we're prioritizing steel over here. 0 out of 1, so it still requires another one. We are using a bit of it, very slowly, but we are still using it. And then all these belts will take a while to get up and going. If we go back down here... There we go. Starting to see some steel come in. And it's going to be shared. It looks like this one actually gets priority, the fast splitters, but I think we've already taken care of most of those. 14 steel gear wheels, my god. And then a bunch of these, but they will back up soon. And once they back up, all of these steel gear wheels will be used for... And it looks like most of the steel is actually making it all the way here. So it should be just belts for the rest of the episode. Should be fine. So what do we want to do for the rest of the episode? We could do Mega Mall. We could do military science. Part of me doesn't want to do military science because it takes steel. Piercing round magazines takes steel plate. So I think what we need to do, let's go ahead and let's start tacking on that agricultural science a little bit. Let's do a little bit of research. And we're going to do the research up here, because if I go into the tech window, then it's going to pause the game, and we don't want that. So let's have a look. So productivity processor boards. So let's focus on the crystal. So crystal slurry, we know how to get that. Crystal grindstone, crystal powder, raw crystal splinter. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. Polluted artificial water. So if we go back, cut red crystal, raw crystal. Okay, that took us in a different direction. Let's stick with the raw crystal splinter. The main thing I want to know is, are the gardens purely research-based, or do we need to automate them for any purpose? So artificial fish water, okay, that's easy. Fish, okay. So we are killing fish a little bit to get the polluted fish water, but we can make more of them using brown algae and nutrient pulp, which is farming. Okay. So this whole process looks doable. Raw crystal splinters. And that also gives us the cut red crystal is just raw crystal. How did we get to big biters? I thought we were getting the raw crystal from... I'm so confused. All right, give me back a sec. Crystal powder. Okay. We get... Oh, I see. So we get raw crystal splinters. We can get it from fish, or we can get it from biters. Alien processed meat. Hold up a sec. Hold up a sec. We got polished red crystal comes from cut red crystal. So, okay, so we got raw crystal and we got raw crystal splinters. That's what was confusing me. Okay, so a raw crystal has to come from biters, and the splinter can come from biters as well, but it can also come from fish water. And it comes from a different chain of biters. Okay, let's go back to raw crystal. So, these two recipes look shit. This one looks promising. 4 big biters come from a big biter egg, which come from okay. We can do queen processing. That seems fun. Or you can do this. Corrosive pupper egg is... Okay, so maybe we need some puffer processing. Raw crystal shard, crystal enhancer. God, this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. Alright. Raw crystal. This whole process is shit. So we definitely need big biters. So we definitely need alien processed meat is raw meat, which you get from fish. Okay, so we can get that from the fish. And then big biter egg is... Nutrient pulp we already know how to get. Big biter egg is, all right, raw crystal shard. We can make that from fish. Is this a different recipe? I could have sworn we had raw crystal shard before and we were just getting it from pure. But now it's different. Okay. Maybe there's a different crystal. Anyway, crystal enhancer. Boom. Inoculated petri dish. Alien bacteria. Alien spores. Polluted fish water. God damn it. This is a mess. This is absolute. Who decided this was a good idea? All right. Inoculated petri dish. I remember having inoculated petri dishes when I did Pyanodons. I did like 80 hours of it once. And alien spores. Yeah, that's mushroom. I could do far. Okay. So, all right. Well, polished diamonds I don't think are too bad. You got cut diamonds, which are raw diamonds, which are diamond ore, which is crystal sealing, which you already know how to make. And then grinding wheel, silicon carbide, polishing compound, alumina is some weird stuff in there. Alumina is just like a midpoint in an aluminium research tree. Yeah. But yeah, polished reds, these cut red crystals are just shit. They're just shit. All right, I'm going to go back in. We need to figure this out. All right, corrosive puffer eggs. Okay, it's farming. Artificial puffer atmosphere. Load of dodgy gases, which we can all make. Gaseous puffer. Have we already got those? I'm just looking for a recipe you can use to actually make more. There's something... Not really. It's kind of some sort of looping process. All right. Let's go the other direction. Desert garden. Used to make a bunch of life samples. You can also make more desert gardens by using the plant life sample. All right, back up 1 second. So one desert garden makes 32, and then you use 30 plus a desert garden to make another one. Okay. You can also make it using this, which is how we got the... Okay, so actually this process is not too bad because that's just crushed stone. Alienized fertilizer is fertilizer, which is compost. Okay, so this is messy. This is very messy. Okay, screw that for a joke. So there is a way to make more desert gardens. Let's have a look. All right, so we got 21 of these, 35 of these, and 56 of these. So we can make more of pretty much all of them. So I think... let's take you and... So we're going to do 3 of these, I think, and then we're going to do... Give me some requested chests. Okay. I'll probably get away with these ones. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And actually, we don't need requested chests. We can just do that. So, logistics science. Let's add in gardens. 200 of those. 200 of those. And 200 of those. Okay. Now, you are desert garden, you are swamp garden, and you are temperate garden. Oh, actually what we can do is we can just... Pick up, drop. Pick up, drop. Pick up, drop. And then pick up, drop. Okay, beautiful. That's not right. Pick up, drop. Beautiful. So, how many... That's all the gardens we have. Well, no. Get back in there. Stupid trash unrequested. So, I'm going to drop. We're going to leave 10, and we're going to trash the rest. Do half of those. And we're going to leave 10 of those. So we're leaving 10 of every garden. And turning them all into the alien science. And then we'll trash the rest into this alien plant life sample. And we'll send it all up here because I'm assuming these guys are out. Yep, looks like they're out. How much purple do we have? 10. It's not really enough to research anything, is it? Anyway. I'm going to start to get some of these now. Alright. So I don't think we need to automate desert gardens for module processing. Module processing is still a massive pain. Like an incredibly massive pain. But it's not too bad. Well, actually, no, it is. It is pretty bad. It's horrible. It's absolutely freaking awful. Okay. Green I'm doing. Why can't I do you? Oh, you need this crystal splinter processing. Everywhere crystals and splintering and so on and so forth. How are you guys doing? Alright, we got the red belts. These guys are all backed up. We're doing the red belts pretty much at full speed. That's what I like to see. 1.5 a second, which is 90 per minute. And we've got a few thousand, so yeah, that'll take most of the episode to finish them all off. I'm not sure if we will actually finish them all off, but it will do a pretty good job. Okay. Predictably, we are not doing a lot here because we don't have enough substations, and we don't have enough substations because who guessed steel? Yeah. Who guessed steel? Let's give the process a bit of a helping hand. How much we got here? 0 out of 0. Very nice. So potentially we should be seeing another steel shipment coming in soon-ish. 3.5. One full cargo wagon of this equals half a cargo wagon of this. So unless there's a train heading over there right now... No. Alright. Let's go ahead and help steel out a bit, because I really want to get some substations going. And it shouldn't take too many, like 10 steel plate, which is just a few of these. So 10 steel plate. No, god damn it, do not trash unrequested. Think about 10 steel plate is 2.5 of these. And this blueprint is 25, so it's 250. What's 250 divided by 4 is 62. So 62 of these scrolls will do a full blueprint. So I'm going to do 60, 31. Okay, so we got 31. Well, that's 35. So that'll do 5 full blueprints for us, which we're not going to be able to do much more. We can probably do 3 more with these guys, which is fine. So I think we'll do that. We'll do 3 more. So, oh, we can't do that. That one's falling over a little bit. What are you? Iron ingots. Ore, I think, is pretty safe. Ore is, oh, wait, sorry. We need to control shift R those. So it gets rid of the big power poles. And definitely something I want to do at some point is make a blueprint for the straight rails and the T-intersection that includes solar panels everywhere. And probably just place those everywhere we can. Obviously not in places like this, but as many places as we can. I did think about having a completely separate solar field somewhere, just off to the side, just solar everywhere, which we could easily do with this blueprint, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the solar goes with this. I think we did the maths, because this has 700 solar panels. We've currently got, well, we had 6,600, which gave us 400 megawatts to give. So to give about 4 gigawatts, we need another 70,000 solar panels, which means we need about 100 of those blocks. And 4 gigawatts is not going to be enough for the rest of it. So we may need 200-300 of these blocks, maybe even more at the end game. But I did do a bit of math, actually. I installed the Hellmod pack and delete. Actually, just delete these. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to aim for 18k. So if we take 4 of these belts, which is 300 per second, 300 times 60 is 18k, which is more than I thought we were going to be able to handle. But here's the thing, right? We set, let's go through this to simple red science. So we're going to do that using the scrolls. We're going to do that using just the normal molten iron. And just this one, iron ingots. We'll use the level 3 recipe because iron pellets are a little bit more efficient. Obviously, we haven't used that yet, but... And then... So that everything is... We can do that to belts. And we can say the preferred belt is blah and is blah. Okay. So right now, this science, 4 full belts is 4 of this, which is... So we need 2 full belts of each of these. So what we do here is put this on, get us some high-level prod modules. That's already down to 0.9. And if we change this to that, it goes down to 0.4. And here's the thing, not all of these can be prod moduled. But you can actually prod module the unscrolling, which is insane. So right now we are at 0.188 belts of this stuff. 0.3, less than a full belt of iron ingots. Less than 1 full belt of iron ingots gives us 4 full belts of automation size. Now obviously this is just an example of the easiest science in the game to build. But let's have a look at copper. So copper, we're unscrolling the wire. Using this, using the best one. Yeah, let's use that. 0.9, 1.3, 0.6, 0.6. Again, we can start getting some high level guys. Actually, you can't put prod modules on that. Oh, whoops. Go up. This one you can put prod modules on, the actual uncoiling. And it's been halved again. So, as you can see, when you really start putting the prod modules on there, 18k becomes insane. And of course, we'll have a bunch of beacons. 2 beacons per assembler, I think is fair enough. And it goes from 900 assemblers down to 30. Now, it does take 258 megawatts for all of those. But, yeah, I mean, look at this. This is 175. But we take this and we put some speed modules onto it. And it goes down to 11 megawatts. I'm not sure if that's actually including the beacon power. But, yeah. Everything becomes very, very small. And that's 4 full green belts, 300 signs per second. So it's pretty impressive what you can get when you start throwing all those prod modules everywhere into the highest level of assembly machines. So having said that, I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to aim for 18k. Which is more than I ever thought we were going to get. It's definitely more. It's awesome. Starting to see some substations actually being picked up. That's interesting. Are you not connected? You should be connected. You two should be connected. Why are you two not connected? Supply area 18 by 18 wire reach. Okay, give me a sec here. So you do that. And you do that. And you connect. So this one does that, and this one does that. It should be connected. They should be connected. So if I just do this. Wire cannot reach. Okay. It's a bit hard to actually see what its reach is here. Okay, so its reach is here. Alright, so that one's going right over there. Huh. Okay, they are actually a bit too far apart. That's friggin' annoying. We're gonna have to build another one then. No, we're not gonna have to build another one, but that's weird, because I think I built this in vanilla, and maybe the wire reach for vanilla is slightly higher. That's really annoying. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then let's go ahead and... Well, unfortunately, we're just going to have to delete these. And these, because that's just not usable in its current state. It's just not. So, get some basic blocks... back over there. All right, so I guess we're designing a new solar blueprint. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't even check that, to be honest. Okay, so where are we gonna design this? All right, let's design it somewhere. Do I want to do... No, let's just design it up here somewhere. You've actually got some substations there. Beautiful. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to put this down. And then we're going to redo it. So we're going to get we're just going to move things around a bit. So you are fully covering that. So you're 18 by 18. So you're 4. Okay, so this one needs to go here. And then it joins up. This one needs to go here. And then it joins up. And on the other side... God, look at all these bloody trees. You need to go here. And then you join up. And you need to go there. So that's kind of offside. But we can... Okay, so you there. A little bit too many substations than I would have wanted, but if we can just replace and move around accumulators, we'll lose a bit of accumulators in the process, but it's not too bad. I'm not sure if that's going to mess up our ratio too much. We do have a kind of nice ratio. Shouldn't. It'll be in like a single digit change in accumulators, hopefully. Alright, so then we do this. And then we do this. Rotate, rotate. Okay. So all of those are now hooked up. Now we just need... so you go down to there. See, this is not going to... Well, it's not going to make it, but what we can do is we can just sort of... Alright, here's the thing. You are here. So this middle panel of solar panels is going to be the issue. It's going to be a big issue. We just don't have the power going down, because I think these were one down and they were grabbing it, and then these were one up and they were grabbing the bottom ones. Okay. So that's very, very, very annoying. Okay. So if we put a single one there, that covers all these. And then we just need one here. We can move it over a bit, so we can do something like that. And we'll delete these. And then we need another one. We're going to say just all the way over the edge. Okay. Okay, something's not right here. Something is not right. They should be lining up. No, well, the power pole's not going to line up, is it? And everything else isn't going to line up. Alright, so we just need a single... Even if we get a single lane of... Let's just do that. Screw it, it's all good. And then we need to do this, and then we need to do this. Alright. So theoretically that's full coverage. Now the problem is... we still got 760 to 704. Our original blueprint was 736 to 704. Hold on, how did that happen? Oh, I see, we've reversed it. Now we've got too many accumulators. It's like a 45 to 44 ratio or something like that, but we definitely got too many accumulators at the moment, so... We're gonna replace some of these blocks. So you guys can go... like that. And then we have a single strip here. It kind of looks a little bit funky, but... And do the same down the bottom. And then over here, what was it? Like this. 736 to 687. That seems very wrong. Did we just lose, what was it, 17 accumulators with this redo? I don't think so. I don't think so. There must be something else going wrong. I mean, we did go up. All right, so we went from 25 to 41, which is an extra 16. And we went down 16 accumulators. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. So, yeah, a lot more substations. Lot less accumulators. But I think this is... Like, if we move this guy over here, then it no longer joins up. So the spacing is kind of screwing us. And this one, we can't move this one any further in. We could spread this out further to the edge and spread these out, but that's not reducing the amount of substations that we actually have in the thing. So I don't think we can really... We could spread these out a bit more. Like this one, this is full length. This is not full length. Here's an idea. Goes down there. And we can move this one over here. I think it's a bit hard to see, but I think these two join up. I think they do join up. And this one covers this. Okay, so we're going to have to move this one over here. Alright, so now these ones cover this. Now this one, we just put it here. You go away. Alright. Wait a sec. These ones, why aren't they connected anymore? Could have sworn you were connected. They don't technically need to be connected. I mean, these ones are connected and they're in the same spot, so yeah. Have we got a dead solar panel in the middle now? I think we might have. I think this one's a dead one now. No, I think this one may cover it. This one covers it. And then what's covering this one? I think this one's a dead solar panel. God, what a massive pain in the butt. This whole mess is a massive pain in the butt. Alright, well, anyway, get rid of that, get rid of that. And then you go away, you go away. 3 solar panels, 3 solar panels, 3 solar panels, 3 solar panels. All right. So I think what we do is we just wait. This guy should have... Where's all my scrolls that I did? Steel... This should have plenty. I could have sworn I dumped a whole bunch of them. Am I out of... I'm out of logistics range. Okay. Alright. Alright. That's my bad. Alright. Well, that'll be all of the stuff will be taken off me. I'm definitely in range now. Okay. So that'll should solve this problem. Because, yeah, we still haven't delivered any steel up here. I'm guessing we're just not producing enough, or it's all being sent over to build belts, which I'm quite happy with. Yeah, I got 10k, so there's not going to be another delivery for a little while. And it's, you can't just say, oh, I'll take what's there, I'll take the 4.5k. But we're starting to see quite a few red belts here. They're starting to really start popping off, so excellent, excellent, excellent. And these logistics robots are going straight up to the top, which I like to see. Okay, so that's, we'll tweak that in a second once that gets better. I have a feeling there's some dead panels, but we'll just deal with those when we deal with those. Mega Mall. What I would actually like to do, because military science, we're going to wait until steel. Mega Mall, I'm going to wait. Oh, we could start doing that, but what I really want to do is start hitting this up and having a nice way of sort of handling this. Because I definitely want this. So I think we move this up into the Mega Mall. Now, I don't think this station should be fine for science. Either this station will be fine or we don't need anything else. The question is, where do I put this stuff? I'm kind of thinking either over here. I feel like the labs may... Well, here's the thing. I think eventually, once we get 4 belts of each science, we will be moving science out of here. This is only for this stuff, so... I don't really want to box us in, though, with this display. I did have a plan, and that plan involved doing it based on the layout of the base. So it'd have like these ones in one section, these ones in one section, but I think that's a bit of a silly idea, to be honest. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do it by tab. So we're going to have everything in this tab that's being moved over, which is currently nothing. Everything in this tab, everything in this tab, everything in this tab. And we'll have like a different column per tab. Sort of deal. And we'll have to move around different things and space them out to make room for new entries. But I think in the Mega Mall, it's not a bad idea. We can move it later on, but I think it's not a bad place to start. Although I don't really want to use that space. So I think we're going to try and use this space over here and just see how we go. So first things first, I might just leave this here, this setup that's putting in the stuff. But we'll get rid of output signals 255 and 250. These are just providing colors. They don't really need to go into the radar, but we'll do this. It really does need to be a wide space though. So then you can see tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, tab 4, tab 5. But I really want it to be near the Mega Mall because that's where we're going to be doing absolutely everything. That's all right. If we build it around the radar, then we can move it later. So I'm just going to build it here for now. Okay. So, start with... we might as well start with the sciences. 3... And just the ones that we're actually going to put on... the actual trains. Now these ones need to be hooked up to the wire. And once we hook them up to the radar, they should be fine. Once the radar gets placed anyway. So that'll feed in the colors, and down here we can just blow this display away. We haven't really been using it, and then this one can go, and we'll still feed in these signals into this particular radar, and we'll leave it there. Because if we remove this for even a second, then all the trains will start to shut down. So we don't want to do that straight away. All right. What else do we have on here that we're going to need? Batteries. I might as well just do pretty much everything that's going to go in a station. Rocket part, no. Heat shielding tile, maybe. I don't think any of these are. Phenolic board, fiberglass board, circuit board, that multi-layered circuit board, and then circuits. That one I did twice. It is nice that it shows absolutely everything in the system. All right. I don't think anything else is going to go on the board from this one. So let's give ourselves a nice gap of 2. Weapons, no. That, no. That. God, I hope not. That, no. All right. Mineral catalyst, that, and the hybrid catalyst. There may be some argument to do spacing a little bit, but we can do spacing later on because I believe it does hold on to the wires. And for good measure, we'll do uranium and thorium, though I hope we never need to use those. Have no idea about the ores or the rubies or anything. We might just make those off-site. Crystal dust, yes. Slag, yes. Crushed stone, yes. And then we'll do one for regular stone as well. And then a bunch of these liquids down here. Ferric chloride, yes. And I don't know about the rest of these. We might end up doing like crystal slurry or crystal seedling later on, but for now we'll just leave those. And leave another gap at 2. And then the ores, aluminium, chrome. I'm not sure if I might end up getting rid of a lot of this stuff. Glass mixture, actually. Maybe not, because glass mixture we're just making on site, so I don't know if we're ever going to want that to be its own thing. Doing all sorts of weird stuff here. Silicon, silver, never. I don't think lime is ever going to be in our train because it's just so easy to make it on site. Tungsten and zinc. And we'll leave a nice gap at 2, and then we'll do the ingots. Unfortunately, I didn't really put away in this blueprint to automatically hook them up to each other. So that is just going to be a thing that happens on its own. Silicon ingots, silver ingots. Apparently stone bricks are down here. I'm going to put clay bricks and stone bricks on there because I feel like clay bricks are enough of a pain in the ass that we'll want them to be their own station. Tin, titanium. I think tungsten powder. Probably, because it doesn't really have an ingot. Zinc. And then lithium. Let's just say lithium plate for now. That's a bit of a weird one. Okay, we may have made a serious mistake here. How big are you? You're pretty big. You're pretty big. You're not quite as big as I wanted, but... yeah, we're going to have to split up these guys. So you are down to there. So that's not enough. Okay. That's a nice split, actually. Splits us up right where the circuit boards are. I probably should have split that anyway. Let's just do that like that. Actually, no. I don't think that... you can't cover the whole row with a single thing, so we might as well do it like that. And then like that, and then we take all of those and we move them up one, so there's a nice split. Hopefully these substations won't cover too many of these. And we definitely need some power here. And then we should start to see some of these light up. And that we barely created the substations, already using them like crazy. All right. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take these, put them up here, take these and put them down here, and then we'll take these, and beautiful, they fit perfectly. And these ones don't quite fit perfectly, but it's all fine. And then over here, you know what? This deserves to be its own row. I think this is getting a bit too unwieldy. Little bit too unwieldy. And a lot of these, those should just be 0. I think a lot of these will just be 0. So we can just sort of safely ignore them. Okay, and then over here, move these down too. Now the painful bit is going to be stringing the wires together, but once we do that, it should be fine. Don't even need this power pole anymore, really. Oh, that's neat. When you get rid of a power pole, it automatically hooks up the wire connecting the two things that the power pole was connecting before. Very, very neat. Which we don't actually want because that's kind of ugly. We'll just do that instead. And then the green one can go from the other one and not this. All right. There's something scraping on my desk. I think I need to clean it a bit more. Okay. Now we can't do any copy paste because we're going to mess up the recipes because all of these lamps are actually hooking up to something particular. They got a specific formula inside them. So we need to do all of this manually. But luckily, once we get it done, we can just copy and paste the entire thing. All right, so that's just waiting for power. Once that gets power, speaking of power, 1.8 gigawatts is how much we're producing. No, only 1.1. 720, pretty standard for this. Yeah, see, the accumulators get up to that high and then immediately they switch on because we just need so much power. All right. Let's go. How's our solar looking? Okay. That's... I'm not going to say it's what I like to see because... Okay. If I move these over, that's not going to help, is it? I don't think so. No. It's too... Alright. You were doing up to... Okay, you're doing down to there, and you're doing up to there. Alright. So control that. So I think what we can do, actually, Let's move that down by 1. And that should still 100% take care of these guys. Potentially we could even get rid of this. Although if we get rid of this, then there's no way to get power to this one. Well, we definitely don't need that one anyway. That one's completely useless. Yeah, we definitely need to keep this one because that one's there. Okay. Looks like we're running out of substations again. What's your deal? Steel! Why are you so out of steel? We just need to wait for them to get over there. Oh, and we got 8k over here. Alright, beautiful. So we're just waiting on the logistics robots to come and do their thing. Eventually the logistics robots will all be stationed over there and it'll be a lot faster, but okay. I'm feeling confident enough that we can just do this and this and this and this. All right. And I'm going to say that's going to be good. I think. Yeah, that whole setup gave us 36 more megawatts. Okay, this 736 power plants. 730 times 7 is 7 times 6 is 40. Technically, it gave us about 40 megawatts, let's say. This entire grid, which is not a huge amount, but it's all right. All right, we got power here. We don't have a substation here yet, so none of these signals are getting across, but eventually they will. Let's go ahead and hook up all of these lights. I couldn't think of a good way to do this in the parameterized blueprint. So we're just going to do it manually, but you only have to do it once. And we're forward thinking, so we shouldn't have any problems with future goods because they'll just automatically start popping up. 1, 2, 3, 4. The only thing I don't like about this is you look at it from a long distance and you see one red signal and you're just like, oh, what the hell's going on there? And then you have to zoom in to sort of figure out, okay, exactly what is exactly going wrong, because you don't know what that good is just from looking at it on the... Well, actually, you kind of... From this, yeah. This, you can see the lights, and then you sort of have to sort of zoom in to say, okay, what exactly is going wrong here? I did hook that up. Beautiful. But hopefully, this all just works out of the box. Because we haven't really... Well, we had the previous thing that was being tested. But this is a bit of a bigger setup. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I set those up correctly, I think. Alright. Gee, it put down almost every single substation except that one. And it still hasn't placed these down. So clearly there's still a lot of robots based down there. How is this going? A lot of these are actually hooked up. A lot of these red belts are fully hooked up. I wish there was a way to prioritize which belts to upgrade, because then we could although having said that, even if we prioritize these ones to be red belts, it wouldn't really make a difference, because one machine can only use up 6 per second, which is 12 steel per second, which is a yellow belt can provide that. So I'm not actually sure why we're making this a red belt, but maybe so we can make a second one of these. Speaking of which, I think I will expand that a little bit. Expand... No, we won't expand that, because then that'll start stealing away from the belt. So we want the belts to be full power, full steam ahead at this point. But it is doing a lot of stuff, and our light setup is around here somewhere. Should probably just try and see where all the bots are going to. I can't remember. Where is our light set up? No, that's not what I wanted. L. Light? Huh. Maybe it's called something else. Or maybe I can't see it because there's none in the actual... Well, we're definitely making them, is the point. I don't know where we're making them. Oh, here, we're making them here. All right. Takes 3 per second. You're only producing 2 per second. You need an upgrade. And there's no point giving this an upgrade because then it'll just need more copper wire per second. All right, but not too worried about that anyway. So that is our beautiful display. We could start putting in more tabs. We haven't even done the scrolls yet. Oh, we're starting to see some good stuff. Beautiful. These 3 silencers are good. Batteries are shit. And this is actually very good, but the light hasn't been placed down, so we can't see. Yeah, if we see here, is 25 is the mineral catalyst. So that'll go green all the way down the end. But I like this. I think hopefully by the end of the episode, all these lights will be placed and we can see this display and all the circuit shenanigans that we've been doing in every single station. This whole little setup here and these power poles all connecting back to radars. All of that's been leading up to that. And so it'll be good to finally have that. Now. Okay, well this corner looks good. Kind of. Kind of good. This accumulator somehow got left out in the dirt. How did this accumulator get left out? Oh, we don't even have this one here. If I move this up by 2. So we'd have to put this one here to grab this bottom one. So I think we just need to... Yeah, see this one's got an accumulator right in the middle. Hold up a sec. No, this one... Okay, so we're going to have the same problem at the top and the bottom. So I think... we're just going to bite the bullet and just replace that with a substation. I think we... Yeah, because if we move these down, we're kind of screwed. If we move these up, then we're missing these solar panels. So I think we just have to bite the bullet. It's way too many substations. I understand that, but... the only other option is to redesign it from scratch. And we could redesign it from scratch, actually. Maybe we should. Maybe we should. Because, yeah, there's a lot of really dodgy stuff going on in here. Alright, so we're going to... Let's try redesigning it from scratch and see, because it shouldn't be that hard. It should not be that hard. Alright. Get rid of all of these. Okay, now let's have a look at the state of our substations. Look at all this crap in the middle. My God. That has got to be unnecessary. Now, this one needs to be out there. So we need... 1, 2, 3, 4... 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's a total of 12 in the middle. Have a look here. There's 14 in the middle. So we could redo the entire layout and save ourselves a total of 2. We get squeeze 2 more accumulators in there. Yeah, not worth it. Not worth it. All right. Where did it get all those accumulators from? I thought we were out of accumulators. All right, there we go. Beautiful. So, that is a beautiful, beautiful blueprint. Now, the downside is I have to remember how we actually captured this blueprint in the first place. So, we capture all the things on the outside. We make it 100, 100, 1, 1, 0, 0. Absolute. 100, 100, 1, 1, 0, 0. Okay, let's give that a shot. Alright. Snap to grid. 100, 100. Grid position 1, 1. Absolute 0, 0. Alright. I think that's done. So we'll put that right over there. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now there is a downside to this, is that we're not squeezing in any accumulators in the side. But we'd have to... We do have space. We could shift these out a bit. And then squeeze accumulators in the side. That's not a bad idea. Because we are low on accumulators with this recipe. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to smack it out there. So you now need to be... Actually, you only need to be like that. Because you only need to get half. So, yeah, that's it. We're redesigning the entire thing. If I can rebuild an entire build to move it one tile to make the bloody things look nicer, then we can definitely do this. Okay. Okay. And... Why is that not snapping on? Alright. So it's the center. Okay. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to do this. Okay, that's awkward. I guess we're going to have to do... That's very inconvenient, but we'll just do that. And then we'll do this vertical. And then going to be like that, and it's going to be like that. So how much space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's still an even amount of space in between there. All right, beautiful. How's our display looking? There's too many lamps going through still. Taking way too long to do lamps. That's all right. Row reports still going ahead. So let's... God damn it. That's a bit annoying. That power pole being off. Are we just gonna rejigger the power poles here? And look, we don't really need these power poles in the middle anymore for this setup. So there's really no point. And okay, so that does fit in perfectly. So in addition to getting rid of the big power poles right next to the row reports, we'll also be getting rid of the And that should be fine. Yeah, so the corner ones go in, thread through everything. These ones are just unpowered because... Well, actually, this one should be connected to this one. Should be connected. Yeah, there and there, there. Okay, so once this one's placed, then those robopods should start powering up. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. And then we can place another basic block down here. It's not going to place the ones at the side, but that's fine. So that was that is a working design. This one is a non-working design, so we'll delete that. That one's a working design, but it doesn't have as many accumulators. So let's go ahead. So we've got already... That's an extra 200 accumulators. That's huge. Very, very, very huge. Okay, we got some of this stuff researching, which is very nice to see. So, first things first. You can... Let's start whacking in some solar panels. Alright, so we take... those, and we move them across to... Where there shouldn't be any dead zones in this power system anymore. There's like a couple of little light splinter areas, but there shouldn't be any full dead zones. Okay, that's not quite going to fit. Okay, 2, 3, 4. We can't put that in because that's too close. And then... Should probably be doing it from the same place we did the other one. So that's 4 of those. This one doesn't quite fit in here, but we can do it up like that and then have a row of those and then horizontal. So we're aiming for just over 700 solar panels. That's 320. That's a little bit too close to the row report, but we'll just have to... We can either just say goodbye to that gap, or we can remove some solar panels and fix it up a little bit. 576. So this is the problem with some of these substations. They're in very weird places that make it very hard to sort of put solar panels in, because you're going to end up with dead gaps everywhere. How did we fit 736 solar panels in here before? We got 704. Okay, I think we fit a lot in these sort of gaps. Alright, done. And then here is going to be a smaller gap. And then horizontal. 776, okay. Now we'll get to the point where we'll start taking away solar panels as we need to. And yeah, this is... Okay, this is already starting to be a bit of a nightmare. Okay. We don't want any wasted space in this blueprint, so do it like that. Same thing up here. Vertical and vertical. Do not give me crap about a brown tree in the way, please. I do not care. Nice line there. And a nice line all the way down. Beautiful. That's a very nice little cross thing that we got going on over there. Vertical. Well, that's not right. Horizontal. Horizontal. All right, I'm getting very, very confused here. Okay, horizontal. Now it's working. Okay, beautiful. How's this? Oh, I think we're done with all the lights. Look at all those pretty lights. All right. Iron ingots are in the shit. Copper ingots are doing okay, but it looks like it needs more trains. Silver. No, that's steel. Steel ingots are not great. If we get over to steel coils, they'd probably be bad. What do we got over here? Crystal dust. These are all trash products, so it doesn't matter that they're in the red. Batteries are shit. Red? Okay, apparently these are bad. What's going on with these? We're just not producing enough. I mean, we did say we needed another full stack of these to satisfy that, and I never got around to making them, so there we go. The panel already doing work for us, but this, well, it's just a thing of beauty. You just look at it and you can see everything that's good, everything that's bad, like this little green thing here. 2 engines, and that's because we constrain the output stack, I'm pretty sure. What's this? Tin ore. We might want to rearrange some of these so it's like iron, copper, tin, lead, or something like that. Because right now they're all over the place. But yeah, look at this beautiful display panel. I absolutely love this. You just instantly look and say, yep, okay, iron ingots. We need way more of them. But we are currently fixing it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to need to whack down some more accumulators. So, we got way too many solar panels, let's be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this row of solar panels. And the other row as well, because that will work way better with these substations. Now we're down to 728. So we'll be throwing in a few more solar panels as we need to, where they make sense, like right here. And right here. But these are mostly going to be accumulators. No space can be wasted in this build. Alright, are you just gonna... No, you need a horizontal thing, and then a vertical thing, and then a horizontal thing. Alright, 744, 597. We really need to get pumping with these accumulators. Around the row reports is going to be very tricky. Alright, let's go ahead. These are going to be solar panels. These are going to be accumulators, and they fit in beautifully. Okay, horizontal. Oh yeah, need to get rid of these. Get rid of these and get rid of these. Vertical, horizontal, and vertical. And that'll bring us up to... Holy... Really? 733 accumulators already? I guess these ones at the edge are really making a difference. Really making a huge difference. Alright. Now the problem is this area. This area is a mess. I don't want to move the row report, and I don't want to move the solar panels. Well, I'm fine with moving the solar panels, but how the hell are we going to do this? I don't know. Like, not using up any space. I mean, it's probably possible, but... And then... Okay. This is starting to get very, very, very freaky. Technically, these need to be accumulators, and then solar panel here, and then another solar panel here. And then this is a line of solar panels. My God, what are we doing? This is absolutely messy. All right. 2 solar panels there. 2 accumulators there. Solar, 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 solar. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? Oh, if we do a solar there, and do... I just don't know. I just do not know. The problem is they just don't line up. This substation right here is ruining everything. But... yeah. Look. I think it might be possible. Maybe. Okay, let's put some solar panels. We can't put that one there, but we can move this one along. Let's try and get the solar panels to all line up vertically. I think that's one of the keys here. You all need to be accumulators. And you need to be a solar panel. Unless we start removing things from down here. Okay. So right now these line up. Move that over there, that over there, that over there. Okay. So now we got these ones lining up. Okay. That's not the prettiest thing I've ever seen, and we can actually get rid of all these and put some solar panels back. I can't really do a swapsy. I'd like to move this 6 over to the left and these 8 further over to the right, but I mean, yeah, these have to be solar panels here because the substation is off. And then we can't have anything other than accumulators there because it starts messing. It starts messing with all of this. It's just the substations are just in a really weird place. Okay, so we do vertical, and all we got to do is line up the row report, and then do that, and then horizontal, line up the row report, and then vertical and line up the row report again. All right. Okay. 925 accumulators. And 925 accumulators, 720 solar panels. Now, some of these accumulators will be shared by other builds. So we're adding an extra... So I think we'll only count... We'll subtract 100. So 825, 720. That's still too many accumulators. Alright. Still too many. Let's see what we can do with this little section here. Okay, can't do that, but we can do that. And a nice little 6 here. So horizontal, vertical, and horizontal. 752, 853. Okay, so they're pretty much identical. I'm going to do a little bit more. Just to make them sort of... Just to give the solar panels a little bit of a boost. Because they are supposed to be a little bit higher. I'm not going to mess with this area. I don't think I even could if I wanted to. Let's just pair off a little bit here. Now let's try and make it. No, we can. Where do these line up? Okay, these 9 can be replaced. And then vertical like that, and then horizontal like that, and then vertical like that. All right, beautiful. So we've gone up from 736 to 768, and we've still got a decent amount of accumulators. And we've got absolutely zero wasted space, and somehow there's a tree. Somehow a tree made it into this solar panel layout. But yeah, I love this one. Absolutely love it. All right. So 100, 100, 1100. Okay. Actually, what we can just... All right, I might wait for this to be fully built. Because we'll wait for it to be fully built, and then we can triple check to make sure that we don't have any unpowered solar panels or unpowered accumulators that somehow snuck in there. But I'm pretty confident. And if we copy this and just do it like this, yeah, the row reports match up, and it seems to be fine on the other side. Beautiful. All right, so how is you know what, I'm gonna set up a bunch more of these, because I was just about to ask myself, how is steel doing? But we don't actually know because we don't have those icons yet. So we did this tab, now we're gonna do this tab. Aluminium sheet, copper sheet coils, copper wire coils, no, I think we'll just do glass for that one. Gold sheet coils, gold wire coils, iron sheet coils, and lead sheet coils. Nickel, this is quite a lot of these. Platinum wire. Monosilicon, that's just one for now. I'm not sure if anything else is going to be on there. Silver sheet, silver wire. I'm going to put down concrete brick. And that's it. We will be making tons of concrete later on to actually concrete the base, but I don't think we'll be putting it onto trains. Titanium sheet coil. Tungsten plate? Yeah, tungsten plate. I'm not sure. I think we do need both of these, but I'm not sure if they're going to be on trains. No, that's wrong. We want the zinc sheets. Steel sheet coils, and then... Is that high enough already? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2... One more. Solder. Leave it a gap of 2, and then we're getting down into the weeds of bronze plate, brass plate. Is this Invar? Gunmetal. I don't think I've ever used gunmetal for anything. Probably because I never play with biters, so I never make guns, but cobalt, and then this is not titanium, this is nitinol, that's right. After titanium, you get tungsten, and after tungsten, you get nitinol. Nitinol is yeah, it's crazy endgame stuff. But, so that'll be enough for the metals, and then after this, I think we're heading into petrochem land. But it'll be nice to see all of these guys lighting up. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And some of these we may just never make a station for. Like gunmetal. I mean, who gives a crap about gunmetal? But the good thing about the blueprint, the parameterized blueprint, is you can just paste it directly over another existing blueprint to override it, and you don't need to do any additional circuit logic. It just works. Like, for example, this one, I can just set it up to be mineral catalyst, boom. And then I just Control Z, and it goes back to titanium. So that'll be a nice way to sort of streamline things a little bit later, but yeah. These still, I mean, the crushed stone is a little bit annoying because we do use crushed stone over here. Oh, you are coal. Coal is not good. Coal is a petrochem, which is why we don't have it yet, but apparently coal is not good. Probably because of all of our rapid coking over here. I did upgrade these to red belts. Of course, it's taken a while, but yeah. Ooh, you got a train? You do have a train. All right. Yeah, definitely need to get these fully upgraded. The problem with these belts is you miss one single belt, but we actually are counting down. We're down to 600 red belts. So if we have a look at here, now instead of red belts being every now and then, it's the yellow belts being every now and then. So absolutely fan-freaking-tastic, and pretty soon we will be able to see this base running at full speed, and this one as well. 6 full belts of red ingots will be coming out, and we just need the last rest, and then we can go over here, and hopefully this one will no longer be red. How red is that actually? The display doesn't actually tell us how red it is, but 10. Okay, so it's exactly 10. And coal is 11. My God. All right, so coal. Well, this is the good thing though. Coal is bad, iron ingots is bad, but everything else is doing okay. Okay-ish. Steel is still a bit messed up. What's the deal here? Oh. Okay, we kind of need to have that hooked up. Yeah. Steel sheets is quite low. I mean, 4 doesn't seem like it, but considering they're sheet coils, 4 is quite heavy. 4 is quite a big pain in the ass. Okay. You're just unpowered because we're currently burning through the stuff. But nothing is actually unpowered here. The solar is all working. I will wait. This should be turning on any second. The steam, not the steam. The farm should be turning on any second. When the farms turn on, we'll make sure that all of these are being charged up. And if they're all being charged, I think it's 10% that the farms turn on. So, yeah. And then the really old coal power build is 5%. 7. Okay. Where are my farms? Did I put the farms at 5%? 5% accumulators. Well, that's below 5% now. There. All right, there it goes. That was a really low percentage. Okay. They're all charging up. Do we even need these corner? We do need the corner power stations because otherwise you can't get power from a non-power block station to a power block station. It just doesn't work. All right. So 100, 1, 0. No. Scrap that. I accidentally grabbed some of the rails. Not good. That's better. 100, 100, 1, 1, 0, 0. Absolute solar beast. Let's just call it solar beast. All right. So. Beautiful. All right, let's chuck it in. 1, 2, 3. And then 4, 5. I believe those were the places I had the solar put down before. So we temporarily lose row reports in there. And then we're just going to delete this and replace the basic block. And the good thing about deleting these is the robots are already in the row report, so they just delete everything automatically. Okay. So, well, we're at the 2-hour mark, which is nice. I kind of feel like doing some more stuff, but I'm not sure what else we could really do. It's quite funny. I labeled this episode the solar block, and I was expecting solos to just take 5 minutes, and then we'll just do a whole bunch of other... Are we out of... We haven't finished the red belts yet. Okay. We just massively did a whole bunch of construction right there. And I feel like half of those construction robots are probably carrying other construction robots from the robot ports they just deleted. Maybe I should have a blueprint that just doesn't delete like this one. All right, let's blacklist it and let's not make it delete power poles or roboports. That seems like a pretty good idea. Yeah. So what we can do is just do not delete that, do not delete that, and it already deleted the other two, but these ones will stay good. Alright, and maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll just keep playing. I'm on holidays, and so I'm happy just to keep pushing on. Now the question is what we're going to push on with next. And I think military, or we could just keep going with the Mega Mall. And do some basics with the Mega Mall. Because I really don't want a full episode to be us doing stuff with the Mega Mall. As silly as that sounds, but Mega Mall is one of those things that is just like setting up a whole bunch of buildings. Now we've got our little parameterized thing over here, which is very nice. We got everything here, all of these goods, which is nice. And so I think what we're going to do is we're going to start to build this out a bit. So we're going to move this one over here. We're going to have this central location for common goods that we actually need to build up. And then this is where we actually make the stuff. So it's going to be uncoiling copper wire, unspooling the steel, and then we'll do a bunch more. Actually, we'll move this over a bit. And then we'll... No, a bit more, please. And then we'll do iron here. Iron. And we'll spend the next few episodes just sort of... making progress in terms of what we're doing, in terms of transitioning from the starter base over to this base. All right, so those 5, we haven't actually dragged solder in yet. Oh yeah, solder is one of those things where I'm like, do I actually need to bring it in? Or... Okay, so we'll leave those 6 as the basic ones. And then we just need to start building actual buildings. So we'll move... That one's okay for the moment, but we kind of want to do basic things at the moment. So actually I'll move this over again. So this will be for more... No, actually it's fine, because we can put it, we can do like a power section. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then down here we'll do power poles and power poles. Alright. Done. And each of these parameterized blueprints, let's just keep going with this tab. So we do need yellow and then red, and we could do blue, but not yet. We'll have our own section for everything else, and then fast bulk inserter. We need some of those as well. We do need gears, and gears, I'm going to actually... Gears are kind of an in-between thing. So I'm going to put them up here. 1, 2, 3. Leave enough room for some more unpacking of the iron if we need it. And then, all right, so we got gears there. And we're also going to need steel gears, of course. And while we're here, we're going to need this crap, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to need that crap. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Steel bearings and steel balls. Okay. What else do we need from this tab in this area? We'll need some brass, but we don't even have brass coming in yet, so no, that's not going to be it. Over here okay, so we need some chests related stuff. Let's go get that. Steel chest. And all 5 of these guys will need to be made. And in addition, silo and... we might as well make all 5 versions of the silo. Buffer silo, passive provider. By default, all of these builds will be constrained to 1 slot. But for things like the iron, we'll probably expand it. Like this guy, for example, that can be a full 2. This one can be a full 1. And full 2, full 2, full 2, full 2. We'll constrain the steel a little bit more because steel is a bit more... Yeah, but these guys can be a full 1 and a full 1. And I think... Was that it for this tab? I mean... An iron chest wouldn't be that bad either. I'll move all of these up by 1. So we can place our iron chest down the bottom. We don't really use them anymore. Or make them anyway. And I think science needed a brass chest, but we're not making science here, so that doesn't really matter. And then over here... rails... train stops, 2 for rails, and train stops, signals, and there, and then a train, a cargo wagon, and a thing. So we need iron rods, or just where are my iron rods? Right there. Make you have 5. This one can just have 1. But the ball bearings, I think, should have 5. And we also need... that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Engines. Oh, we got the steel bearings already. Storage tank. We'll get to that in a later tab. And stone. Stone we only get from crushed stone. So I think we need an unload station here for crushed stone. And again, we'll be making this passive provider chest, and we'll be making this station a priority of 80. All of our mall stations will be a priority of 80. All right, that's a decent little start. Are we actually done with the red belts? I believe we are. This is disconcerting. Oh, okay. What's going on here? There should be power poles in the middle. Maybe, I think we got rid of these power poles at some point. Alright, you know what? Oh no, that's the right middle of the... Okay, it got working again. There was a... is now probably tracing power through the solar setup. No, very annoying. Okay. Let's actually see. So we got 4 belts of everything coming in. Okay, so this is 30. I don't think we ever built this for a red belt. I mean, these guys, this produces 3. So this one produces 30 and this one produces 30. I don't think we ever built these for a full red belt. I think I was meaning to upgrade them at some point, but we never did. These guys look like they're built for a full red belt. These guys look very, very... So that's 9 times 10 is 90. Yeah, that's definitely built for a full... Alright, so we need to expand this a little bit. And we're going to need to do a little bit of belt shenanigans here. What I'm actually going to do... I don't really want to cut anything. Which sounds a bit weird, but... Okay, so these belts in the middle. Get rid of those. And then this one just goes like that with a red belt. Thank you very much. And then this one does the jumpy over here. Okay. And is that... Okay, so it finishes and it cuts over... So we need to cut over like that. I swear to God, if there's a bloody yellow belt in this build somewhere at the end of it, I'm going to be very, very unhappy. You're both going to the middle. Okay. We managed to stall the entire thing because it's waiting on belts now, but there we go. That should produce 4 full red belts now, which I'm very happy about. And our red belt machine down here is building up again. So everything is building up. It's very, very nice. How's the... Our coal should be fully up. It's not up and running. How are you not powered? You are just a pile of crap, you know that? Everything I try and do is just... Somehow it just fails. Right. How's our research going? Is it just slow? It's just slow. All right, we got 172 of the agricultural science. And if we go down here, we're still producing tons of it. 646. All right, beautiful. So everything... All right, so a lot of these, I only really care about stuff that leads to modules. Some of these don't lead... We might need temperate farms as well, but for now, the only thing I really care about is stuff that leads to modules. So this definitely will lead to modules. Butchery 2 leads to modules. This one, I don't know if it leads to modules. Oil processing of plants. Okay, this may be a better recipe for our farm setup. Not that we care, because alien microbes don't care. How much agricultural science do we actually have? Can we just go full bore and just do all of this? I don't think so. Yeah, so much of this crap just... Alright, well, we'll leave that for now. How much... Oh, hello. We can just make gardens for free without having to recycle them using that recipe. Puffers. Yeah, we definitely need that. Puffer, Regenium, blah, 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 blah. How much is this? 150. Okay, so we can't do that. And I would have thought there'd be... Oh, we can actually... Hello? Beacons are apparently available now. Are they... Beacons take the crystal splinters as well? I suppose it's only fair since modules take that crap, but... My god, that is just cruel. Whoever decided to put the crystal splinters... Like, you've got crystals, and then you've got crystal splinters, and they're completely separate chains. Oh, look at this. We already got some solar coming down here. 1.3 gigawatts. And it's actually throwing 600 megawatts into there. But solar is going to start coming back, and it's going to start coming back very, very hard. But we're actually, do not have any problems. We are shocked. Look at how much fuel oil we got packed away in these guys. And these... So what is it saying? If A... These turn on if P is greater than 1. So if A is greater than 80, or the fuel is less than 5k. Did I screw this up somehow? I think I screwed this up somehow. Fuel oil. No, fuel oil. Oil, please. Okay. So now these are turned off. Okay, that's how I'd expect it to work. We shouldn't be running the bottom section. No, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, because there's tons of fuel oil in here, so we shouldn't actually be doing any of the farming down here, because we don't need to. Alright. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And yeah, already up to 10k solar panels, which is fantastic. And yep, the farm's just turned off. And we're still using a bit of accumulators, but less than 100, well, just over 100 at the moment. And yeah, that is definitely what I'd like to see. So, and we're not even low on solar panels, although we will be soon, because yeah, 586 and no batteries. So steel is still, it's still a problem. Okay, there we go. That is a thing of beauty. 4 full red belts of iron ore. Coke. How are we dead on coke? I fixed that. Because we're dead on coal. Right? Right? We're dead on coal? Yeah, we're dead on coal. Alright. Come on, guys. Alright, you upgraded... I upgraded this. 2 full red belts of coal. But we got a... How do we have 11 stations requesting coal? How is that possible? How is... I'd like to know what all these stations are that are requesting coal. Coal unload. Unload. Unfortunately, I can't tell what the stations are actually doing just by looking at it. Like this one. Okay, well that's our carbon, so we definitely need that. It's going to make me go through and do it every single time, isn't it? Unload coal. Okay, well this is just for the catalyst, so that should be fine. No idea what... Oh, this is for refueling. So refueling, catalysts. This is the carbon thing. What the hell is this? Oh, that's just for that. That's not much. Yeah, a lot of these coal stations are just for these filter thingamybobs. So a lot of them don't actually matter too much. But then we got big things like this. Okay, it actually tells us which ones are empty, which ones desperately require coal. So a lot of these are 0 out of 2s, like this one, which is 0 out of 2 for plastic. Yeah, okay, all right. So we have massively over-leveraged on coal. Wouldn't be a bad idea to build another station here so we can put some more coal. I mean, this is 16 million, so I reckon we can handle it. But we just ran out of stations, is the problem. We got 4 stations for bobmonium and only 2 for coal. That was a bit of a miscalculation on my part, but anyway, can we fit? No. No, we can't. We could fit one here, actually. That's not a bad idea. All right. To delete that massively important rail system right there. T intersection. T intersection. Oh, that's a 4-way intersection. I'm going to assume there weren't any signals there. And station. And I'm not going to shift all these up. I'm just going to send 2 more coals going all the way up there. So this is currently an 8 to 8. We get rid of this. And well, it's an 8 to 6. So we should get rid of that and make it a proper 8 to 8. Balancer, which can only be done with red belts apparently, so downgrade that to yellow and then upgrade it to red, and I think we'll upgrade this whole thing to red. Not sure if that's necessary, but let's do it anyway. And since we're building on the left side of the current belt, God, what is with all this windy BS? What is with all of this windy BS? Yeah, okay. I thought we were going outside the Roboport range, but it's actually going into a logistics range, which is nice. Dodging some pipes on the way. And there we go. And now we have to start doing this. Past all the Jivalite, and there we go, beautiful. And, of course, there's always a garden screwing us over. And then all we have to do is we can just copy and paste these exact stations. Oh, no. This one, please. There we go. That's beautiful. And eventually, when we start to run out of this, we've got these infinite ones in the middle. And all they take is water. Coal just takes water and that's it. And then it just does infinitely. And yeah, they will do quite a lot of coal. This should be, well, it is a bit hard to get a full belts out of it, but here's the thing, right? This is infinite and it's going to be doing 66.2 per second. So once we get some mining productivity, that'll do a full green belt by itself. And there's this little trick. I've seen it, but I've never used it. You basically do this, and then you can fill up both sides of a belt out of one mining drill. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, how many? 1,000 red belts? Okay, I didn't realize it was going to be that many. And we've shut coal down completely until they get these belts sorted out. So that was maybe a bit of an issue, but we did actually... Let me just double check something else. I'm kind of going all over the place, but this one I would like to get, because this will possibly allow us to get all 8 inserters. Like if we do this, we could do 2 more, but we can't do 4 more. So we may need that, but that requires a bunch of pink signs. Or was it purple? I can't remember. Inserter is just pink. 50 plus 250, but then we also need to unlock titanium, which we haven't done yet, so not going to worry about that yet. But yeah, we'll get some more red belts, we'll get some more coal, and if we start placing these down, yeah, we could place some of these down. I don't think there's going to be too many from that area, but yeah, sulfuric wastewater, fluoric wastewater, chloric and nitric. Be good to have those. Sand, salt. I don't think we need any of these. Maybe lithia salt would be the only thing. Heavy water, mineralized water. No, we don't need any of that. Coolant, maybe. Maybe. I don't actually know how to do... I know coolant is like really good for like messing around with end game stuff. Like making better ores and stuff like that, but for now, I think we'll not worry about it too much. And we're starting to get very, very close to them all in this. So, well, I might do a little bit of petrochem in this area. Just a little bit. We'll do the basics because we got room for it here. Yeah. Coal, coke, carbon. And this is going to be a bit of a mess. We can do sodium hydroxide, and I think that's it. I think we'll leave it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think my plan is going to be to move this entire thing over to somewhere else. I mean, we could move it down here, but then again, we're going to need more columns, I think. I mean, maybe not. A little bit of this, probably. God, I hope we don't need this. God, I hope. Look at all of this. This is all just module-related BS. Look at all of these crystal splinters and stuff. Modules and... yeah, so we may need more of that stuff. But for now, I think we are probably on the right track. We've got our beautiful solar panel build now. We can get rid of this. And we can put this here. And then we'll also... and just leave it out there. And yeah, ingots. I think we can do 2 there. That one's overlapping with something. A lot of these simple ore builds, I think we can put solar in between. Some of these are going a little bit outside the lines. Yeah, like that's literally going over the power pole, and we'd be deleting some of those power poles, so I'm not going to do that. But down here, I think we got plenty of room. Not so much over there, but yeah. And then we can do another one here, and then I think this one looks beautiful for another depot station. So let's whack that down, because we do need to keep in mind that we are we do have quite a lot of depots, and we need to make sure we keep them all good. Make sure that we have enough depots lying around, because if we have a look at the trains over here, depot is currently 39 out of 55. So we've got a little bit of spare space, but having another depot definitely won't hurt. All right, and that will give everything quite a lot of room to go. This is waiting on ingots because this is waiting on coke. Looks like we've got some coke back. I'm not sure how because we've got no coal coming into the system, but this will get fixed up. Hopefully we shouldn't end up deadlocking. We should have enough red belts to fix this mess up. I think we're just low on robots at the moment, but yeah, that would be annoying if we didn't fix up our coal in time to fix coke and we ended up deadlocking because coke is required for blah, 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 but I'm sure it'll work out fine. So, assuming that we have fixed up fixed up steel, military science is wide open. We can go for that. And then it's going to be all about the mall, I think. We're going to need to build brass, bronze, aluminium, and we're going to need to get them into the mall. And then we're going to need to continue to build everything we need. Oh, we got some crushed stone already. Beautiful. Build me some stone, please. From crushed stone. Excellent. You need at least 5 slots. And I love the fact that we've already got some stuff going on here. Some of these are a little bit low. Steel chests, just waiting for some stuff. But yeah, pretty good, pretty good. It'll be stealing some of the stuff, like these storage tanks stolen from the old starter base, which does mean there will be a little bit of logistic robots going back and forward like crazy, but we will reduce that over time massively. And eventually I'll just remove all of these storage chests and everything that's a passive provider here will just be changed back. Or oh, hold up a sec, somebody's actually calling me. I think there's a good time to actually stop the stream, so I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.